Come on in, invite a friend. Matter of fact, invite about 10, cause it's Floating Yogi's Book Club, and we about to go in, y'all. So I'm gonna give y'all a moment to come on in. I'm gonna give y'all a moment to actually invite somebody, cause I know you might just go down to listen, invite everybody like I'm doing. Cause dang it, when it's a good time, you gotta have the crew there, right? You gotta have everybody in the house. So we about to do that right now. I encourage you to go on, invite your friend, invite your uncle, invite your cousin that shouldn't have an Instagram, your niece that's too young to have one, but she got one too. Send her the invite as well. Boom, 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 because we going live. Alright. If you'd like to be part of the Zoom room, if you'd like to be part of the conversation, one of the people who helped me be me, helped me do what I do, my guy Payoga, he's part of the crew, and that's a dimension where people are our greatest resource, and that's exactly what he is. You can reach out to him, send him the link, send him your email, he'll send you the link, and then you can hop in the Zoom room, we can vibe, we can chat, we can chop it up. We also got my guy Brent LV. He'll have all your post-production needs, your digital assets if you're looking to get them created, or maybe just rebrand them a little bit, get a little pizzazz put on them. He'll be able to have you hooked up and all your website stuff running smooth as butter. With that being said, I'm going to give y'all a few more moments to invite some friends in. What's good, Nomar? What's good with you? We got Payoga, of course. Alright, let's see. We're going to pin this to the top so people know how they can get in. What's good, Dash and Yoga? Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's the Floating Yogi's Book Club. We reading Mindset by Dweck. Facebook, YouTube. It says that we're good on Facebook, and I think we're good on YouTube as well. Drop your email if you want to be part of the Zoom room. Alright, another one.
It's lying about Facebook.
It's lying about Facebook. See, it's always out there playing some games. With that being said, one of the sponsors for this month is boom, Lifeform mats. I highly encourage you to give them a shot, to check them out. They are like the Cadillac of yoga mats, yo. No slip when you sweating. I mean, I be sweating puddles, and that don't be keeping me still, keeping me stagnant. Strong hands, strong arms. I'm able to do all the fancy jump forwards, jump backs, all the saucy stuff, all those workshops that we had at Epic and that we have coming out. Lotus Yoga Academy, Suka Center. Come, just check out the website. We got a whole bunch coming your way. Also, of course, this is brought to you by UE, Urban Yogic Wellness and Education, where we're restructuring health and wellness in the community, one healthy habit at a time, bringing the power of healing and evolution back to the individual's hands. And I think that's just empowering, and that's something to celebrate right there. Being able to self-direct our healing and our evolution. How do we want to grow, and how do we want to facilitate that growth? Let's make it happen. So with that being said, mindset. Let's start there. Dweck. We're up on page 91. We zooming through the book pretty smooth. And we're reading the part about character. Character. But aren't there some natural athletes who really seem to have it from the start? Okay, so they're talking about the differentiation between fixed mindset and growth mindset, believing that you have all of your abilities given to you at birth and you shouldn't have to work for things, and growth mindset saying that you accumulate your abilities over time. Maybe it's a bit of both. So, we continue. Yes, and it is for Billy Bean and John McEnroe. Sometimes it's a curse. With all the praise for their talents, with how little they've needed to work to stretch themselves, they can easily fall into a fixed mindset. Bruce Jenner, now Caitlyn Jenner, 1976 Olympic gold medalist in the decathlon, says, "If I wasn't dyslexic, I probably wouldn't have won the games. If I had been a better reader, and that would have come easily, sports would have come easily. And I never would have realized the way to get ahead in life is hard work. The naturals, carried away with their superiority, don't learn how to work hard or how to cope with setbacks. That's an important aspect." What's good? What's good, Chantel? What's good, David? I think that's an impactful thing to keep in mind if you are, let's say, a natural talent at something. Uh, Learn that the setbacks that seem like insurmountable, maybe it's because things were a little bit easy, because that gives us a different perspective on the actual challenges that we encounter. A lot of times, if we're complaining about little stupid complaints, things like, oh, they spelled my name wrong on a coffee cup, or you didn't hold the door open for me, there's so much that just goes to show the level of comfort that we've become accustomed to. So that's why I say keep that in mind. Maybe because things have come natural, that just built up that natural comfort. Like, I don't really have to work that hard. And when you are, it's like, do I really want it that bad? Because it's gonna come later if I just let it. If I just come back to it later. It allows us to see those like obstacles and those challenges as like opportunities for growth. That's all I'm saying. Long-winded, but we get it. This is the story of Pedro Martinez, the brilliant pitcher then with the Boston Red Sox, who self-destructed when they needed him most. But it's an even larger story too, a story about character. A group of sports writers from the New York Times and the Boston Globe were on the Delta Shutter to Boston. So was I. They were headed to Game 3 of the 2003 American League Playoff Series between the New York Yankees and the Boston Red Sox. They were talking about character, and they all agreed. The Boston writers reluctantly that the Yankees had it. Character. Okay. Among other things, they remembered that what the Yankees had done for the New York 2 years before. It was October 2001, and the New Yorkers had just lived through the September 11th. And I was there, and they were devastated. We needed some hope. The city needed the Yankees to go for it, to go for the World Series. But the Yankees had lived through it too, and they were injured and exhausted. They seemed to have nothing left. I don't know where they got it from, but they dug deep and they polished off one team after another, each win bringing us a little bit more back to life. Each one giving us a little bit more hope for the future. Fueled by our need, they became the American League East champs, then the American League champs, and then they were in the World Series. They made a valiant run and almost pulled it off. Everyone hates the Yankees. It's the team the whole country roots against. I grew up hating the Yankees too, but after that I had to love them. This is what the sports writers meant by character. Character, the sports writer said, they know it when they see it. It's the ability to dig deep and find strength even when things are going against you. That's that drive I was talking about when you gotta like, and that might be that's part of one of the reasons why people like really look up to those who get it out the dirt, get it out the mud, and they I know people who actually like look up to that struggle, and I've seen them use it as a hindrance, and I had to call them out on it. I was like, nah, yo, you better than that, yo, you beyond that. And it was like, dang, I can't even be mad at you, yo. I'm saying I'm here, but you saying I'm better than I'm saying I am. It was an interesting conversation. Give it a shot. Give it a shot with one of your homies. No one could have wanted this American League championship more than the Boston Red Sox. They hadn't won a World Series in 85 years, ever since the curse of the Bambino. That is, ever since the Sox owner Harry Fraz sold Babe Ruth to the Yankees for money to finance a Broadway show. It was bad enough that he was selling the best left-handed pitcher in baseball, which Ruth was at the time, but he was selling him to the despised enemy. That is... Come on now. So I'm in D.C., and I know they the Commanders now, but it is what it is. If you... I don't know none of the first round draft picks. They got some ridiculous fees coming with them. If you trade somebody who's been like proven to the Cowboys, you don't need to own the team. You don't need to own the team. in the same division, a direct rival, you're going to make somebody else in your division immediately, but you're disrespectful and you're rude. Stop it. That's it.
It's treachery.
Flat out treachery. Yo, oh my gosh, yo, that is, whoo. But moving forward, we don't, I get why he's cursed. I get why now I get the curse. I ain't know nothing about baseball. Football, yeah, I was in it, but baseball, it is what it is. Right, Chantel. You know. All right. Yet after pitching a beautiful game, Martinez was losing his lead and falling behind. What did he do? Rewind after he sold him to the enemy. The Yankees went to dominate baseball. See, and then the Yankees went to. That's just winning. It seemed endless World Series. Meanwhile, Boston made it to 4 World Series and several playoffs, but they always lost. And they always lost in the most tragic way possible, by coming achingly near the victory and then having a meltdown. Here, finally, was another chance to fight off the curse and defeat the arch rivals. If they won, they would make that trip to the World Series and the Yankees would stay home. Pedro Martinez was their hope. In fact, earlier in the season, he had cursed the curse. Yet, after pitching a beautiful game, Martinez was losing his lead and falling behind. What did he do then? He hit a batter with the ball, threatened to beam another, and hurled a 72-year-old man to the ground. Character. He had a meltdown. That's what they mean by a meltdown. That's a flat-out meltdown. The first one, it was like, all right, well, maybe it's a strategy. Like, maybe he's trying to put this batter on base because they know that he might knock it out the park or some wild stuff, especially with the crowd behind him. Okay, then the second one is like, maybe he just pissed him off. Then you hit a 72-year-old. Like, yeah, character. I feel that. And that's similar to like when in football, making another correlation. In football, it'll be like after the play when they arguing with each other, and then one dude just mushes the dude in his face mask, and then they throw the penalty flag. Character. And I'm telling you now, them teams be playing them. They be playing your emotions. They play your emotions, and not just teams, but people. So, maybe there is something about this fixed mindset that can be helpful. Let's see what else Pedro does. As the New York Times writer Jack Curry wrote, we knew we were going to have Pedro versus Rogers. Clemens on a Memorial afternoon in Fenway Park, but no one expected to watch Pedro against Garcia. Pedro against Posada, Pedro against Zimmer. Even the Boston writers were aghast. Dan Slodden Hennessy, I don't know if it's Hennessy, but I'm calling him Hennessy. It is what it is. Dan Hennessy, Slaw Hennessy of the Globe asked, which one would you rather have now? Red Sox fans, Roger Clemens, who's kept his composure and behaved like a professional Saturday night, winning a game for his team despite the obvious anger, or Martinez, the baby, who hits a guy after he blows the lead and points at his head at the Yankees catcher George Posada, threatening, "You're next." Red Sox fans don't like to hear this, but Martinez was an embarrassment. Saturday and a disgrace to baseball. He gets away with it because he's Pedro, and the Sox front office enables him. Could Martinez one time stand up and admit he's wrong? That's whack. That's whack. And then people enabling him. That's whack. Like Billy Bean, Pedro Martinez did not know how to tolerate frustration. Did not know how to dig down and turn an important setback into an important win. Stop and breathe. Step 1. Nor, like Billy Bean, could he admit his faults and learn from them. Because he threw his tantrum instead of doing the job, the Yankees won the game and he went to win the playoffs. And he went to win the playoffs by 1 game. The sports writers on the plane agreed the character is all, but they confessed that they did not understand where it comes from. Yet I think by now we're getting to the idea that character grows out of mindset. Ooh, I like where this is going. We know that there is a mindset in which people are enmeshed in the idea of their own talent and specialness. When things go wrong, they lose their focus and their ability, putting everything they want, and in this case, everything the team and the fans desperately want, in jeopardy, not necessarily getting the big picture. If you're pissed off, agitated, you're not going to be as focused because you're focused on the thing that's pissing you off or agitating you or creating a little bit of discomfort. We also know that there's a mindset that helps people cope. Go and drop it. That helps people cope well with setbacks and points to good strategies and leads them to act in their best interests. I support those thoughts. What up, Megan? We got you on a book club night. Hey, this like twice in 7 days, yo. I'm here for it. What's good, Nicole Ponce? You enjoying the vibes? Big puppies and yoga. I'm here for the yoga. And I ain't mad at the little puppies too. Welcome, welcome, welcome. If you want to be part of the Zoom room, drop your email and Payoga will send you the link. Tap on in that junk and vibe with us in the Zoom room. Alright. Wait, the story's not over. 1 year later, the Sox and the Yankees went head to head again. Whoever won 4 games out of the 7 would be the American League champions and would take the trip to the World Series. The Yankees won the first 3 games and Boston's humiliating fate seemed sealed once again. But that year, Boston had put their prima donnas on notice. They traded one, tried to trade another, and sent the message, this is a team, not a bunch of stars. We work hard for each other. We work hard for shit. 4 games later, the Boston Red Sox were the American League champions and the world champions. It was the first time since 1904 that Boston had beat the Yankees in a competition series, showing 2 things. First, that the curse was over, and second, that character can be learned. That sounds like the same thing that the Skins needed to do. Stop trading everybody and trying to purchase stars, then have a ridiculous budget with a whole bunch of second/third stringers that are second stringers with faulty coaches who don't want the players that are there because the main players they paid for are injured. But what do I know? I don't know. Alright, more about character. There's more about character? What? Carol Dweck, please share with me after this break. Restructuring health and wellness in the community. One healthy habit at a time. Life form yoga mats. Plugs. Unplugged. More about character. Let's take it from the top with Pete Sampras and the growth mindset. In 2000, Sampras was at Wimbledon trying for his 13th Grand Slam tennis victory. If he won, he would break Roy Emerson's record for 12 wins in top tournaments. Although Sampras managed to make it to the finals, he had not played that well in the tournament and was not optimistic about the chances against the young, powerful Patrick Rafters. Sampras lost the first set and was about to lose the second set and was down 4-1 in the tiebreaker. Even he said, I really felt like I was slipping away. What would McEnroe have done? I don't know. I'm gonna be honest. I don't know these humans' names. I don't know them. What up, Jen? What would McEnroe have done? What would Pedro Martinez have done? What would Sampras do? As William Roden puts it, He searched for a frame of reference that could carry him through. Sempra says, when you're sitting on the changeover, you think of the past matches that you've lost for the first set, came back and won the next 3. There's time. You reflect on your past experiences, being able to get through it. Suddenly, Sempra's had a 5-point run, then 2 more. He had won the second set and he was alive. Last night, Roden says, Sempra's displayed all of the qualities of a hero. The loss in the first set, vulnerability, near defeat, then the comeback and the final triumph. I'm with that. That be happening in the pool. Hopefully it don't happen tonight. Hopefully I just, come through and just spank some behinds. But we're going to see. We're going to see. I'm not well practiced this week. It's been a whole bunch going on. A whole bunch. Alright. Jackie Joyner-Kersee talked herself through an asthma attack during her last World Championship. She was in the 800-meter race in the event of the heptathlon. Yeah, no, that's exactly it. Heptathlon. When she felt the attack coming on. Just keep pumping your arms, she instructed herself. It's not that bad, so just keep going. You can make it. You're not gonna have a full-blown attack. You have enough air. You've got this thing won. Just run hard as you can. It's about 200 meters, Jackie. Yeah, no, I feel that. Hey, what's good, Alf? Yeah, that's real. That's called real dedication right there. Like, you're pushing yourself through an asthma attack to win a race, and it's just 200 meters away. She's instructing herself all the way to victory. I have to say that this is my greatest triumph, considering the competition and the ups and downs I was going through. If I really wanted it, I had to pull it together. In our last Olympics, the dreaded thing happened. A serious hamstring injury forced her to drop out the heptathlon. That is a tongue twister. Hey, Tony, can you give me...
Heptathlon.
Heptathlon. Thank you. What the hell is a heptathlon?
Let's find out. And I also wanted to point out when she was instructing herself to when she talked herself through the asthma attack, I feel like there's a spectrum that type of grit is on, and the very bottom of it is getting up to exercise, or doing breath work, or doing yoga,
and
or making your bed every day.
Yeah.
Or, there's a lot of people who get up, go to work, come home, eat to survive, watch their favorite show, go to sleep, repeat. And that's without kids.
Yeah.
That's without kids. Without kids.
Yo.
So that same little bit, because that same ability to talk yourself into doing whatever you don't really want to do. Yeah. The core essence of that self-discipline, motivation. Yeah, that's what I was thinking about when she was talking herself through that asthma attack. I was like, see, and that's what I'm gonna be one day, as long as I keep doing the sun salutations.
Yeah, start with the basics. Just start with the basics. Just hit them.
As long as I get a life,
start build from there.
As long as I get a life form mat, so that my hands don't slip when I'm doing yoga.
As long as you got the life form mat,
I know I'm gonna make it.
As long as you got the life form mat, so your hands don't slip while you getting it where you at. That's it. That's it. You know what I mean? Just hit up UE. We got you with the daily meditation accountability, the daily movement. Just go on in there and just click that thing. Go and vote. Go and meditate. Go and share. Let people know. I needed all of this. Self-discipline. How you do one thing. Come on now. Let's get some consistency with this, some regularity. All right. We got one more paragraph in this section. A little bit more about character. In her last Olympics, the dreaded thing happened. The hamstring injury. She was devastated. She was no longer a contender in her signature event. But would she be a contender in the long jump a few days later? What? Sure, absolutely. Her first 5 jumps said no. Oh, never mind. They were nowhere near medal level. But the 6th jump won her the bronze medal, more precious than her gold ones. The strength for that 6th jump came from my assorted heartbreaks over the years. I collected all my pains and turned them into one mighty performance. Joyner Kersey, too, displayed all the qualities of a hero. The loss, the vulnerability near defeat, then the comeback in the final triumph. Again, I hope I do not have that tonight. I hope I win. Outright. Straight up 2-0, 3-0. Scatter down. Wow. That's the balls dropping to the back of the pocket. Wow. And fall into the rack. Because it's a bunch of balls in there because I'm winning. Right? We get this. This makes sense. Alright, what we got? Ooh, I like this. Character, heart, will, and the mind of a champion. What up, Anita? It goes by different names. But it's the same thing. It's what makes you practice, and it's what allows you to dig down and pull it out when you need it most. Remember how McEnroe told us that all the things that went wrong to make him lose each match he lost? There was that time where it was cold and the next time it was hot, and then he was jealous of the times that he was upset, and then the many times he was distracted. But as Billie Jean King tells us, the mark of a champion is the ability to win even when things are not quite right. When you're not playing well and your emotions are not the right ones, here's how you learn what being a champion is meant. I support those thoughts. You hopefully have been doing your breath work and your meditation, so you have a little bit of space between trigger and response, and your nervous system isn't on high alert, so you're not spazzing and using a lot of energy to actually hold yourself back. Hopefully you're doing that. Hopefully you're doing your movement practice, so you're not like, oh, extra antsy and have too much pent up energy where it's also spazzing. It's a different type of energy. Hopefully you're doing these things, some type of creative or expressive release, some type of journaling, writing, drawing, dancing, some type of movement like that. And, you know, these things could help keep you in a flow state, so when you need to activate it, you could just... But I'm going to just keep going. King was in the finals at Forest Hill playing against Margaret Smith, who was at the peak of her greatness. King had played her more than a dozen times and had beaten her only once. In the first set, King played fabulously. She didn't miss a volley and built a nice lead. Suddenly, the set was over. Smith had won it. In the second set, King again built a commanding lead and was serving to win the set. Before she knew, Smith had won the set and the match. At first, King was perplexed. She had never built such a commanding lead in such an important match, but then she had a eureka moment. All at once, she understood what a champion was. Someone who could raise their level of playing when they needed to. When the match is on the line, they suddenly get around 3 times tougher. That is, oh my gosh, an absolute real space, a real place to be in. I'll say for myself, I've played people. I used to play like real deep into like Yu-Gi-Oh, Pokemon cards. Oh my gosh, I would go in. And same with like video games, all types of video games. And I had some friends who, whenever it gets towards the end, it's kind of like going to the bathroom when you gotta go to the bathroom real bad, and then you just start running, beeline to the bathroom, and the closer you get to that, the cheeks to the toilet seat, the more that thing just starts to push. And you're like, why? I was in the car for 45 minutes, and that's exactly what happens. You play someone, it's like you pushed a mouse into the corner, and now it's like, I ain't got nowhere else to go, let's get it. That don't be going wild. It's the same thing here. boo, boo, boo. Jackie Joyner Kersee had a eureka moment too. She was 15 years old and competing in the heptathlon in the AAU Junior Olympics. Everything now depends on the last event, the 800-meter race, in an event she dreaded. She was exhausted in completing against an expert distance runner whose time she'd never matched. She did this time. I felt a kind of high. I'd proven that I could win even if I wanted it badly enough. That win showed me that I could not only compete with the best athletes in the country, I could win myself. I could will myself to win. Again, that's a powerful state to be in, being able to will yourself to something, through something. And I know a whole bunch of people who be coming into my soul room got that will. Because it'd be the days where it's like, yeah, I don't know how I got out of bed, but I'm here. And then it's like, ooh, bind, Mary Johnson a D, super deep twist that looks really weird, pretzel pose for real. And it's like, wow, I didn't think that I would ever be here. And it's like, look at that. So much growth when we don't think we have anything in us. I can will myself through it. I don't know where I'm on the paper right now. Let's see. Haha, here it is. Often called the best women's soccer player in the world, Mia Hamm says she was always asked, Mia, what's the most important thing for a soccer player to have? With no hesitation, she answered, mental toughness. And she didn't mean some innate trait. When 11 players want to knock you down, when you're tired or injured, when the referees are against you, when you can't let any of it affect your focus, how do you do that? How do you have to learn? You have to learn how it is, said Hamm. One of the most difficult aspects of soccer, and the one I struggle with every game and every practice. I feel that. Same thing. You get that meditation in. Once you get that meditation in, then you know how to hone your focus. You know where it's leaking, where it's going, and how to pull it back, how to draw yourself back. And you see it in the room. You see yourself, picking stuff off your feet, off your toes. You might see picking stuff off your mat. Oh, no, that's whack. The Zoom room's back open. It's doing its weirdness. Yes. By the way, did Hamm think she was the greatest player in the world? No, and because of that, she said, someday I just might be. In sports, there's always do-or-die situations when a player must come through or it's all over. Jack Nicklaus, the famous golfer, was in these situations many times in his long professional career, PGA Tour, where the tournament rested on his making a must-have shot. If you had to guess, how many of these shots do you think he missed? The answer is one. That's powerful. When you got that, we call that clutch. Someone's like, dang, I need it. I'm in a tough spot. My man always got me. In the clutch. Let's get it. Alright. That's one championship mentality. That's how people who are not as talented as their opponents win games. John Wooden, the legendary basketball coach, tells one of my favorite stories. Once, while Wooden was still in high school coach, a player was unhappy because he wasn't included in the big games. The player, Eddie Pawlowski, begged Wooden to give him a chance, and Wooden relented. All right, Eddie, he said, I'll give you a chance. I'll start you against Fort Wayne Central tomorrow night. Suddenly, Wooden tells us, I wondered where those words came from. 3 teams were locked in a battle for number 1 in Indiana. One was his team and another was Fort Wayne Central, tomorrow night's team. Dun, dun, dun. He said, I'm going to throw you in the fire. How you going to act? How you going to act? The next night, Wooden started Eddie. He figured that Eddie would last the most minute or two, especially if he was up against Fort Wayne's Armstrong, the toughest player on the state. Eddie literally took him apart. Wooden reports Armstrong got the lowest points in his career total. Eddie scored 12 and the team showed the best balance of all season. But in addition to his scoring, his defense, rebound, and playmaking were excellent. Eddie never sat out again and was named the most valuable player for the next 2 years. All of these people had character. None of them thought they were special people born with the right to win. They were people who worked hard, who learned how to keep their focus under pressure, and stretched beyond their ordinary abilities when they had to. Ooh, staying on top. Ooh. So we got staying on top and we got what is success. Alright, we can read that one. We can go over that one. We can go over staying on top. And we'll stop at what staying on top, and we'll read what is success and what is failure next week. Ooh, taking charge of success. Yeah, let's get with it. Staying on top. Character is what allows you to reach the top and stay there. And stay there. That's important. A lot of times you can get there, they got like one-hit wonders when the doors open for them, the opportunity's there, but then they about yay high away. They need a little bit more. Darryl Strawberry, Mike Tyson, Martina Hingis reached the top, but they didn't stay there. Isn't that because they had all kinds of personal problems or injuries? Yes, but so have many other champions. Ben Hogan was hit by a bus and was physically destroyed, but he made it back to the top. I believe ability can get you to the top, says Coach Wooden, but it takes character to keep you there. It's so easy to begin to think that you can just turn it on automatically without proper preparation. It takes real character to keep working as hard or even harder once you're there. When you read about the athlete or the team that wins over and over and over, remind yourself, more than ability, they have character. Let's take an even deeper look at what character means and how the growth mindset creates it. Stuart, I like that. I support those thoughts because that character is that discipline for us to stay focused, for us to pull ourselves back to focus when we get distracted. Using YouTube, how's YouTube looking? It's good. Stuart Biddle and his colleague measured adolescents and young adults' mindsets about athletic ability. Those with the fixed mindset were the people who believe that you have certain level of ability in your sport and you can't really do much to change that level. To be good at sports, you need to be naturally gifted. In contrast, the people with the growth mindset agreed that how good you are at the sport will always improve if you work harder at it. To be successful in sports, you need to learn techniques and skills and practice them regularly. Absolutely, you need to be able to call on them like that, just straight up robotic with it. Those with the growth mindset were the ones that showed the most character or heart. They were the ones who had the minds of champions. What do I mean? Let's look at the findings from the sports research and see. What is success and what is failure? Next week on the Floating Yogis Book Club. Brought to you by Yogi, Urban Yogic Wellness and Education, where we're restructuring health and wellness in the community, one healthy habit at a time. And Lifeform. Get it so your hands don't slip. And thanks, Lifeform. Appreciate it. Questions, comments, want to work on something, let me know. Any brick questions, go and send them to my email. Go and send me a DM, send them to my email. Send me a DM, send them to my email. You see which one's more important, right? And let's vibe about it. Let's grow. Peace and love, kings, queens, and gods. Let's get off of these social media.